We're moments away from the opening bout of the evening. We have a 10-round contest in the featherweight division between Christian Esquivel against Francisco de Vaca. Now, BJ, this is a very interesting clash of titans we got here. We got a fighter that's 30-1 with 23 knockouts against 17-0, Francisco de Vaca. Now, in the past, Francisco de Vaca liked to stay on the outside. Recently, he likes to get on the inside, mix it up a bit. He likes to take a punch to give a few. Against a power puncher with more knockouts than Francisco does, what are we going to see tonight? Are we going to see the old buck that likes to stay on the outside and box, or are we going to see the same old because it's been working for him as a prospect?
No, it's a good question. You'll fight to the level of your opponents a lot of times. And to be honest with you, I think he's going to go in there and see what Esquivel is working with, see what kind of power he is, and devise his game plan based on the first and second round. Look, Esquivel is 30-1. He's got much more experience, but de Vaca is 17-0, a lot of confidence, but 5 knockouts. Let's be honest, he's not a big puncher. So for him to get inside and want to work close to Esquivel, work in close quarters, confidence, but 5 knockouts. Let's be honest, he's not a big puncher. So for him to get inside and want to work close to Esquivel, work in close quarters, a guy who's got more knockout victories than de Vaca has victories, it could be a very dangerous strategy.
Now, we know a lot of people that coming up from Mexico, maybe the competition isn't quite there.
Right.
Francisco's a little bit more seasoned maybe with the competition, especially because we've seen him. Is it the unknown that might be scarier than for San Francisco? Because typically we see a lot of these opponents around Phoenix. We see them on a regular basis. We know what we're going to get. We haven't Esquivel has. Is that nerve-wracking maybe going into your biggest fight of your career, 17-0, knowing what it means to go past this?
Well, hopefully de Vaca's done a little homework and knows what Esquivel is working with. If he doesn't, he might be in for a big surprise tonight. But look, there's another fighter I remember very well, Julio Cesar Chavez, who had a very built-up record before he came to the United States. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he couldn't fight. So I think we're in for a surprise tonight. We will find out in the first couple rounds exactly what Esquivel brings to the table. Is he a body puncher? Does he have power? Is he a relentless guy? And then also, what happens when de Vaca goes into those later rounds when a guy with experience is putting pressure on him? So this is going to be very interesting.
Well, if these next 3 cards are anything like this opening bouts that we've had tonight, you guys are in for quite a treat. The electric atmosphere here, I wish you could feel it. Eventually they're going to make a TV where you can start feeling something like that. But we're moments away from the opening bout. Don't go anywhere. You're going to see next up Christian Esquivel versus Francisco de Vaca.
Here we go, fight fans. Let's get the action going once again. Please welcome out of the blue corner from Toluca, Mexico, here is Christian Italiano Esquivel. And now, please welcome his opponent out of the red corner from Phoenix, Arizona. Here is Francisco Panchito El Centenario Vaca. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are streaming live on IronBoy.com from the Celebrity Theater here in the beautiful city of Phoenix, Arizona. where tonight Iron Boy Promotions is proud to present Iron Boy 43, sponsored by Clinic My Doc, Esquivel Law Group, the official personal injury lawyer of Iron Boy Promotions, and the Mint Dispensary. This next event is scheduled for 10 rounds of action in the 125-pound weight division. At ringside, your three judges scoring the bout are Chris Wilson, Gonzalo Valenzuela, and Rocky Taylor. And the referee in charge of the action at the bell is Wes Melton. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting under the blue corner. He steps to the ring tonight wearing the colors of Mexico, green, white, and red. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 123.2 ready pounds. As a professional, his record stands 24 victories against 12 defeats with one bout even. 6 of his victories come to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Toluca, Mexico, introducing Cristian Italiano Esquivel. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the red corner to my right. He too enters the ring wearing the colors of Mexico. When he stepped onto the scale, he went officially at 126.2 solid pounds. As a professional, he enters the ring tonight undefeated. 17 victories with 0 losses. 3 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, from Phoenix, Arizona, here is Francisco Panchito El Centenario Vaca. Once again, your referee in charge, Wes Melton, give the final instructions.
Chief seconds. Okay, fellas, went over the rules in the dressing room. Check these trunks, these are good. Check these trunks, these are good. Let's have a good, clean fight. Touch them up, bang at the bell.
And here we are, the opening bout of the night, a featherweight contest, 10 rounds, of course, again. We got Cristian Esquivel versus Francisco de Vaca.
And a big step up for de Vaca here. We're talking about it before the broadcast. You know, fighting a guy with 42 fights, 30-12. Esquivel coming in with a lot of experience. You mentioned it earlier. He's been in with a lot of top-level opposition, world champion. So it's going to be a nice test for de Vaca.
Big right hand early. It looks like de Vaca's coming out with a little bit of power. We do know that prior to this fight, for the first time, he's going to be working with Memo Heredia. Now, you have history with Heredia as well. You've worked with him in previous bouts. Let me ask you, when you go from 100% boxing to shifting a little bit and having, I guess, maybe a big left hook right there by de Vaca on the inside, when you shift a little bit more and you go into strength training, do you find that your skills drag on a little bit, you gain power, and that gains the extra momentum going into the fight? Or do you feel that you just remember your 100% of your boxing, so it doesn't matter if you train that 100% of the time?
It does a little bit of both. Good work by de Vaca here. Nice counter right uppercut, nice left hook a second ago, but it does a little bit of both. When you box as long, when you have the experience, the amateur background, it makes it easy for you too. Nice, good counter shots from de Vaca again. He seems like he's got the quicker hands on it, actually.
Yeah, we talked about on the inside here, this is where he likes to stay. And I wasn't sure if he was going to want to continuously do this, especially because a lot of Esquivel's knockouts come early in the round. So it's just interesting to see that de Vaca, not only we knew he had a chin, but now he's really putting that to the test tonight.
He is, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he goes with a top-level competitor later in the fight. A lot of guys can do well for 3 or 4 rounds, but when it gets to the 4th and 5th round, when he starts getting hit, punch to the body, and once you start getting into those middle rounds of the fight and in the championship rounds, then we'll really see where he's coming from. Nice head hook to the body.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but Francisco looked into the crowd a little bit to kind of acknowledge it. It looks like he's pretty relaxed in there.
He's doing some good work. He looks good in the first round, setting the tempo. He's making Esquivel fight his fight. He's coming forward, and you can tell Esquivel, he's not uncomfortable, but he's definitely getting pushed around a little bit by Vaca.
Is it a timing thing right now, or is it a volume? Mixture of both? Answer A, B, and C?
It's a little of both. You know, Vaca's just maybe a faster starter. A lot of guys, it's a 10-round fight, long fight, got plenty of time. So the first round's more of a feeling out round. Big right hand by Vaca. That hurt Esquivel.
Esquivel's got his backs against the ropes. Big right hand to the body again. Vaca, big right hand.
Those are heavy shots. I'm very surprised that he's only got 5 knockouts because he's loading up with those shots. He looks like he's got some power.
That body work is going to do work down the middle.
Got hurt there with the right hand. And you see the veteran Esquivel staying tight against the ropes and picking his spots, hitting Vaca on the temple with the right hand, buckled him a little bit.
This is where Vaca, I think, is going to get himself in trouble tonight, is because he's traditionally used to this. If you return fire, he likes to fire back and be the one that takes over these contests. But now we know that he's in there with a real power puncher. I really believe that for the first time, Francisco, although I think he won that round, I think that was the first time Francisco's actually tasted the leather the way he just did.
He got hit with a good shot against those ropes, and, you know, surprising enough, or not surprising enough, he took the shot well. Esquivel, look, he's not a big knockout puncher, but if he catches you clean when you're a little careless, it could be dangerous.
So moving forward, what do you think Roberto Alcazar talking to him in the corner, Francisco that is? Is he telling him to remain patient, stay on the outside like he was, or get in there and rush him? Because clearly his power is different than any other fight we've seen previously.
He doesn't need to rush him at all. He just needs to stay relaxed and stay calm and stay poised. Work behind his jab, follow the game plan, no need to rush. He's got a long night.
Here we go, the start of round 2 of a 10-round contest. Looks like it's going to be an interesting fight tonight because Francisco, we talked about earlier, is that this is his first real test, and it looks like towards the end of that first round, he did get his first test, and he did well taking those punches.
You know, Alcazar's got a lot of history with Oscar De La Hoya. I remember when De La Hoya came out of the '92 Olympics, Alcazar was his trainer, did a lot of good work with Oscar, and you know, he's a very good trainer, so it's nice to see Vaca in with an experienced guy like Roberto.
Now, we know that Vaca in the past can box, and now he's been mixing it up on the inside. It would be interesting to add that power to the element because that's what you want your prospects to do is, you know, always constantly be learning. And it does seem like he's adding people around him, especially with the tutelage of someone like Alcazar. I mean, he seems like he's really completing himself. So I'm glad tonight that he's getting this test now at 17-0, and, you know, being 24-0, and then not quite sure what we have.
Right. Curious to see what he does here in the second round. Nice right hand by Vaca. Walking in, you see his eyes open very nicely. I'm not crazy about the overhand right that he shoots right there, but he flurried after that and got Esquivel in a little bit of trouble against the ropes. A little bit low there.
Referee Wes Melton did a good job calling that.
Didn't really bother Esquivel. Sometimes you get hit on the belt line, doesn't hurt at all, and then sometimes you get hit just a bit below that belt line. You need 30 seconds, 45 to get your breath back, but good shot, nice counter right by Esquivel on the inside.
Big right hand by Vaca right there on the outside. I think Vaca right now would do good with the jab, no?
He's able to land his shots without the jab, and maybe nice right uppercut by Vaca a second ago. He's a volume puncher, like you said before the fight. You know, he's not a jab and stick on the outside and be super sharp guy. He's just one of those guys that, you know, is going to get inside and let his hands go, and he seems more calculated than I've seen him in the past, so nice left hook.
The big difference is, look, as we see him exchanging on the inside here, we got a little exciting round number 2 going on here. Warning once again, Wes Millen, referee Wes Millen, warning Vaca on the inside to keep his punches up a little bit. But, you know, it's funny because you see Vaca really committing to the body, even on those inside exchanges where you see Esquivel headhunting completely. I think his game plan here is to try to take him out early and not even try to worry about those later rounds. Try to steal some early rounds and just kind of like let it float on towards the end.
Yeah, I think Vaca with the corner he's got, with Alcazar over there, with he's got Mike Sanchez in there too. Mike Sanchez was my USA boxing coach in 2001, 2002. When a beautiful overhand right. You see him starting to get the timing of the jab of Esquivel. Vaca's really starting to time that in and be accurate with that punch.
Midway through the second round here. Feeler punches, nothing too big, but at least to keep him off him a little bit, that is Vaca.
And if you're Vaca and if you're Esquivel getting countered every time you shoot that jab with that overhand right, nothing wrong with taunting it, feint it. Do something to make him think you're going to shoot it and then don't shoot it, and that'll mess up and disrupt Vaca's timing. See him loading up for that shot.
Round 2 again, we got a close round, but you know, Vaca, it seemed like he's playing his game plan a little bit more. If you're in Esquivel's corner right now, what are you telling him? Obviously, your power is affecting him because it's preventing him to come in and completely take over the fight. While he's working with it, what are you telling Esquivel right now in his corner?
I'm going to tell him just watch out for the right hand. You see the guy loading up on the right hand. Move to your right. Move away from his right hand. And, you know, move your head a little bit walking in. Don't just walk in and sit there with your head in the middle. Get it off the center, get inside, and pick 2 shots and get back out. Don't just shoot 1 shot and look and see what happens.
Go to the start of round 3. Once again, we're live from Phoenix, Arizona, the Celebrity Theater. Iron Boy 43. I'm James Meyer, joined by BJ Flores. The man, the myth, the legend, BJ Flores, looking like straight out of Miami Vice today, too.
Thanks, buddy. First day of spring, second day of spring training here in Scottsdale, Arizona with the baseball teams, Cubs, Giants, a lot of teams walking around, and hey, it's time to celebrate. Baseball season's here, and we got a big night of fights tonight. So,
is the season?
Yes. This little left hand work by Vaca coming out. You saw him shoot 3 jabs, which we haven't really seen from Vaca yet.
Vaca's left hook to the body is a bit sneaky. Kind of leans to the left right there. You can see him kind of like angle it to try to get in between those 2 elbows.
Looking for that shot. I'd like to see him, you know, nice right hand again. And if you're Esquivel, you can't allow a guy to walk right in, no jab, no anything, and just shoot an overhand right and connect. You gotta move your feet. You gotta pick your hands up. You gotta dip underneath. Do something. You can't just be a sitting target
like that.
Well, James, a good thing that Esquivel did there, he moved his head a little bit on the ropes to get off center.
I like the way that Panchito is able to plant his feet, kind of inch his way forward, using his momentum.
Nice left hook.
Very technically sound.
Nice left hook. Esquivel hit him with a nice right hand there, and that hurt Vaca a little bit. It did. It got his attention. I'm not saying it buckled him or anything, but it definitely got the attention. I saw the eyes, and the shot connected very nicely.
We wondered how he would deal with this type of pressure. I wondered specifically if we would see this type of fighter. And here we go again. We got Vaca giving us an amazing fight on the inside. He's constantly throwing punches. It's almost like his chin and his courage is outweighing the opponent's skill and ability.
This is a situation, and this is something that Customato preached. You know, after you punch, you got to get off to one side or the other. That's why you saw Mike Tyson so effective on the inside. He wouldn't leave his head in the middle. He would get off to one side or the other, take a step around, and both of these guys, not trying to compare him to Mike Tyson by any means at all, but just saying the key to inside fighting is changing angles and changing levels. And when you keep your head just in the center like that, it's pretty easy to hit your opponent, and both guys are having a lot of success landing any shot they want.
It's funny you compare Panchito to Mike Tyson. He did show up with the tiger today. Show people.
That's about where the comparisons stop as far as that goes. But, you know, he's a good young fighter, but I would just like to see him. You see right there putting his head off the center, and now we see a little blood from the nose of Panchito, and, you know, that's a result of getting on the inside with the experienced guy and keeping your head on the center.
When you're a seasoned veteran, does blood even affect you anymore? Does it rile you up? I know it affects people differently, but right now it seems like it's going to, like, you know, give a fuel, or it's going to fuel the fire of Panchito in the next 7 rounds.
I mean, it could, but it could disrupt the breathing. You know, it could be going down the back of his. I've had bloody noses before that the blood comes down into my throat and into my mouth, and it definitely affects the fighter. So it's early in the fight, and you know, he's got 7 rounds left with a bloody nose like that. We'll see how it affects him.
We talked a lot about Panchito Vaca. What are some good concerns do we see going into round 4 now?
He's got to be careful not to get outworked. You know, you see Vaca, the young, hungry guy, you know, obviously with a higher punch output, but Esquivel's the veteran, so he needs to use that experience now. We're getting into round 4 here, so we're getting into the second portion of the fight. Rounds 4 through 8 are the middle portion. Then you got 8, 9, and 10. But he's fighting smart, and he's fighting well, but he's still losing the round. So this round he needs to make a little push. Look for opportunities where Vaca is missing and make him counter and make him pay and make him get his respect.
We are heading into round 4. It should be noted that Esquivel has been in there with a lot of really good fighters. In the past, he's been in there with Daniel Roman, current WBA featherweight champion. He's also been in there with Ray Vargas, WBC current champion. He was knocked down in 3 rounds, both of them. Now we're in the key round on number 4. This is his first 10-round fight, I believe, in at least a few fights. We'll see how he goes from there, because he hasn't had to be in deep waters as long. And I know for Francisco, with only 5 knockouts, 12 of his fights have gone the distance.
He used to go in the distance. He's not a big puncher. You know, regardless to what what I said in the first round, he was landing a lot of shots. I was surprised he's only got 5 knockouts with that aggression and that accuracy. But hey, you're looking to load up on that left hook. Nice right hand. Definitely hurt Esquivel.
Oh, he definitely got Esquivel hurt. He got Esquivel against the ropes, throwing right hands. Good combination punching on the inside. He's getting a little bit frantic, but you can see that once he sees, like, I guess he smells the blood in the water.
He's hurt. He needs to go to the body here, James. Esquivel's in a lot of trouble. He needs to go to the body and not load up.
Esquivel looks done. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this exchange.
He is a tough, tough guy fighting off the ropes.
And here we go. The crowd is on their feet in Phoenix, Arizona. Vaca doing what he does best, throwing punch after punch, mega flurries.
Look at Esquivel.
Taking shots.
Did Vaca punch himself out there, James? Look at that. Great shots. Beautiful counterattack by Esquivel after taking an assault in that corner. Vaca hit it with everything but the kitchen sink. Wow.
Vaca is now smothering the distance. Is this more, I'm tired, so I'm going to close the distance so there's no power on the punches? Or is this, I'm going to walk you down and try to do what I just did to you?
He's taking a lot of punches from Esquivel. I think Vaca needed to go to the body right there, James, is the bottom line. Esquivel was loading up to the head. You got to change levels at this level. You got to up and down, body, head. Use the body to set up the head. You can't just load up. And him being trained by Roberto Alcazar and being an Hispanic, I'm very surprised he didn't go to the body more there. Big mistake.
He did go to the body for the first 2 rounds, but it was a standard combination. Clearly, his mind was on just knocking him out straight to the head, like you said. He maybe just got a little bit overzealous. He needs to relax a little bit, because after the first round, we did see him get hurt a little bit, but then he came out relaxed. He threw that jab. No, not speed, not power, but just kind of kept you out, had a little bit of feelers. It does seem like he needs to go back to that, just kind of relax a little bit and understand that he's winning this fight, and he's fighting at his pace.
Yeah, he is, but, it's a rookie mistake. When you're hurt, when you've been knocked down, I remember my 5th fight, I got knocked down. I remember thinking, man, I put my hands up immediately. The key to a good finisher is he attacks the body and the head, because everybody's, when they're hurt, they protect their head. So you have to go body head to make them, to keep them on a level playing field, and that's where the knockout punches get the knockouts. Look at Esquivel.
Right hand, left hook combination from Esquivel at the end of 4th.
Getting in a nice rhythm. We're in for a good fight.
It was a close round. It seems like if it wasn't for that mid-round surge on the ropes over here, I mean, that could have been an even round. I'd still have to give it to Francisco in that round, but these rounds are getting closer and closer, and the farther we go to the 10, it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep that work rate up, because right now the work rate does seem like it's benefiting Francisco, but how long can he maintain this course?
Well, we're going to find out very shortly.
I wish we had like a compu box or something going. We're now 5 rounds into this. It seems like they've thrown 400 punches.
They've shot a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're on an 80, 85 punch a round pace right now. 80 times 4, we're looking at 320, 350, close to 350 punches probably through 4 rounds.
Featherweights tend to throw more punches anyway, but even when you get into the 80 punches a round, I mean, we're still talking about elite fighters here.
A lot of punches. Yep. I would like to see Vaca shoot less punches and be more calculated and more precise with what he shoots, and not give Esquivel so many opportunities to counter him. Sometimes less is more. You see on the outside, Esquivel is not dangerous. And if Vaca stays on the outside, uses his jab, slips, shoots that overhand right, does that pull counter right there like you just saw, he can make this fight very easy. But he gets in a rush, gets ahead of himself, rushes Esquivel, and look at that. He can't miss the guy. So this is exactly where he needs to be. And if I'm his trainer, I'm screaming at him to stay right here, and let's go home early.
Vaca seems like he's trying to excite the crowd. He wants to bring the performance, but there you go, big right hook to the body. Again, he's going back to the body, what he knows does best. He's relaxing every time he comes out. It's one of those big punches come that he gets out of himself, and then he wants to entertain the crowd so bad, but it just seems like he needs to relax a little bit.
No power on the punches of Esquivel right now. And, you know, I'm going to tell you a sign of a good fighter. When somebody shoots a punch 3 or 4 times in a row, the exact same punch, and Esquivel continues to catch it, you got to do something to make him miss. You know, a good fighter is going to make you get off balance when you miss those shots. So, you know, Vaca's loading up. Esquivel refuses to move his head. If he would just dip under one of those shots, he could totally change the tempo of this fight, but he just tries to catch it on the gloves and the chin. It's not a good sign.
Big left hook moments ago by Vaca. It seems now Esquivel's legs are getting a little bit tired. He's doing a little bit of bounce every once in a while. He gets a little space like that right there.
He's pushing his punches, and the only thing that's going to beat Vaca in this fight is fatigue. If he doesn't get tired and he doesn't get exhausted, then this fight should continue exactly how it's going and get even worse in Vaca's favor until the knockout. He's much sharper than the experienced Esquivel. Vaca's got a lot of tools, that right hand, that lead left hook, the overhand right. You saw him just barely miss it there, but he's trying to set Esquivel up as opposed to Esquivel is just trying to survive and see how long he can go.
Esquivel seems like he's really relying on punching with Panchito, where Panchito is using his accuracy now more so too as well.
Moving his head a little better, which is what I like to see.
As you say that.
Esquivel is very one speed. He doesn't change it up. Comes forward. What you see is what you get. Not a lot of power on those shots, and just a tough guy.
Dare I say traditional, not a standard Mexican fighter. When he comes up the middle, when you're throwing those left hooks wide, he's just coming up the middle with the left and right hook, or uppercut, excuse me.
The one thing that's not traditional about Esquivel as far as Mexican fighters goes, he doesn't attack the body. So, you know, he fights, the key, like I said, the key to being a good inside fighter is you have to attack the body, the greats. You know, the Salvador Sanchez, the Julio Cesar Chavez, the Felix Trinidad, those Latino fighters, not Mexican necessarily, but Latinos, they attacked the body, and then they came up with the head, and it worked.
Series of big left hooks by Vaca to close out the 5th round. Here we go again. It just seems like every time they get punched, they start revving that engine and getting riled up and getting into this. Heading into the 6th round. Questions, comments, concerns, BJ? Halfway through the fight right now, what do we say?
I mean, it's a one-sided fight. Vaca's doing what he's got to do, and you know, it looks like Esquivel's not putting pressure on him to make it difficult for him. So Esquivel, in order to win this fight, he's going to have to win every one of these last 5 rounds. But I just don't think he's got the ability, the skill, or the power to do it. So I think the real question is does Vaca score a knockout against Esquivel like most of the other guys who beat him? All the other guys actually beat him by knockout. So, you know, if Vaca wants to add his name as a serious contender, he needs to score a knockout over a guy like this.
Should be noted that 3 fights ago in the 8th round, final round of Vaca's last fight, 3 fights ago, I should say, he did stop Gustavo Molina. So he does have that late round, that power that does travel up. And we talked about maybe him not having the most power in the world. But what he does have late is the same power he has from the 1st round. So he brings that power with him. And when you're tired, you use your legs, and you've been in a firefight like this, I imagine it does affect you a little bit more, obviously, in the 8th round than it would in the 1st.
And I'm going to tell you something else I just noticed at the beginning of the 6th round. Both fighters come out and they touch gloves again. Esquivel's got the sparring partner mentality. He really does. And you can't win fights against young, hungry prospects with the sparring partner mentality. You got to come out. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes to get the knockout and to hurt your opponent and get him out there. After the fight, you guys can be friends. But, you know, you touch gloves at the beginning of the 1st round, and that's it until the 12th round. But, you know, Esquivel runs out to the center and tries to touch his glove every round to, you know, keep things cordial. And, you know, you just can't win at this level. Terrible shots by Vaca loading up like that. A good fighter is just going to stick that left jab when he's doing that, hit him right, bloody him up, and Esquivel's not able to take it right just like that. Right there, boom, boom, right there. You see a guy loading up like that, it's just a rookie mistake.
He's trying to elicit the crowd to kind of get into it, get behind him. Because, you know, when Vaca gets the crowd going and gets everyone riled up, it seems like he lights that fire. Big right hand on the counter punch on the way to outside. Here we go, Vaca again. Once he gets him against the ropes, he's allowed to tee off. He gets him teed off on this. I'm surprised that Vaca isn't cutting off the ring as much as he does. He likes to keep in the center and box, like you said. But every time he gets Esquivel against the ropes, it seems like he has a real advantage.
Yeah, he does. He's got better hand speed. He's got more power. He's got he's got much more of an offensive arsenal. So the punches are much better by Vaca.
Super accurate.
Keeps going low though. Referee Wes Melton's taking a good look. I think he warned him 3 or 4 times already. not affecting the fight yet. But
was that a left hook to the body? I think that was that awkward left hook we were talking about. Esquivel on the ground spits out his mouth guard. We're going to see if he's going to make this. I don't think he's going to do this.
Normally when they spit out their mouth guard, they don't get up, James. So I'll be very surprised if Esquivel gets up.
There we go. It looked like a body shot knockout in the round 6. Again, we talked about that awkward left hook to the body. I mean, it just seemed like Esquivel's legs weren't there. When he took that body shot, he just didn't have any more. I mean, we're talking about a guy that, yes, he's been knocked out before, but he didn't show any sort of wear and tear in this fight. We saw a fighter that came in here that showed heart, grit, determination, power, really tested Vaca early, and now we just see in the 6th round with a man now going on he's 18-0, Vaca that is, 6 knockouts. After coming off this fight, or this training camp with Heredia, we've seen a new resurgence of Vaca. We've seen him add that extra arsenal. Looks like he's got that extra power, especially going into the 6th round. I was really impressed that he was able to load up the way he did.
I don't know if I agree that Esquivel was a great test. I mean, on paper, he looks like a good test, but I feel like he was a little sturdy in the beginning, but he just didn't give Vaca much of an offensive threat ever. There's a lot of guys in this division, you know, in this featherweight division that will give Vaca a lot more, you know, offensive problems than Esquivel gave him. Esquivel just didn't really shoot much. He was kind of trying to look and survive and picked his spots a little bit, but I mean, he didn't show me what I thought I would see from a guy who's been in with all those kind of guys. So full credit to Vaca. He did what he had to do, won every round, and you know, he looked good. I'm not going to say he looked sharp because he didn't. He was loading up with those right hooks against the ropes, and against a good fighter, he will absolutely get punished doing that. But you know, a step in the right direction.
So here in a moment, we're going to kick it up to Sonny Franco for the official announcement of the knockout 6 rounds, Francisco Vaca, and then we're going to have Ramblin' Ralph with the post-fight interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 1 minute 59 seconds of round number 6. Referee Wes Melton puts a stop to this contest, declaring your winner by way of a knockout and still undefeated, Francisco Panchito El Centenario Vaca.
All right, guys, I'm here with your victor, Panchito Vaca. Panchito, yesterday at the weigh-in, you told me that for the first time in your career, you added a personal trainer because you were notorious for your 30, 40 punch exchanges. Do you think that got you over the hump here in this fight?
I mean, my personal trainer helped me a lot. I felt good throughout the fight, and like I said, I was going to give Phoenix a great fight, and I think I did. I want to appreciate everybody that came out. I'm always going to give you guys a great show. Thank you for being here.
All right, for the last year and a half, you went out of state to train. You're back here where it started. How does it feel again to fight in front of these fans who've been actually supporting you since you started?
I mean, these are the greatest fans ever. That's why I'm always here to give them a great show. And what I appreciate for everybody that came out. Thank you.
All right, guys, he's back, and he's back with a vengeance. Back to you guys.
Once again, Francisco Vaca goes 18-0, 6 knockouts now in his ledger. Now, you talked about maybe this isn't the best step-up fight for him, but what do we want to see from him next? We saw him evolve now more of a power puncher. We've seen him exchange. What do we see next from him? What do you want to see from your prospect?
Well, he's 18-0 now, and I remember when I was 19-0, when I was 20-0, I fought Darnell Wilson He was rated number 2 in the world by the IBF, and he was 24-3 with 21 knockouts. And I remember thinking, like all the other guys that I'd fought, I'd win 12 a few times already, but I remember thinking, hey, I really got to be ready for this fight. He was rated number 3 in the world by the IBF. You know, obviously a very, worthy contender. Fought on ESPN 4 or 5 times. And, I think for Vaca, it's important that he gets a nice test on his next fight and kind of see where he's at. And he's got 18 fights. He's still a young man, but it's time, especially at featherweight. These guys move pretty quick, so I don't think they got to hold him back. And, I think he's ready for a much stiffer test on his next fight.
Still to come. The next fight after this one's going to be Fidel Hernandez coming back. It's going to be his second fight from a 16-year layoff. Again, we talked about you knowing him a little bit more than most of the casual fans that are out there. I mean, what do we see from him tonight? He does have that power still. He's going up against an unknown fighter, 3-0 with 1 draw, Cesar Barraza. I mean, does the old man still have the same tricks, or does he have new tricks up his sleeve? You've seen him. What does he look like?
I've seen him in the gym sparring, and I think he looks good. I think he does some very subtle things very, very well, and I think it's going to make it very difficult for an opponent with a 3-0-1 record with 0 KOs. He's going to have a lot of troubles tonight unless he's got a big amateur background. Fidel, their experienced fighter, great amateur career, took a lot of time off. He says he's fresh and reserved, and the rounds I've seen him in spar, he looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does under the lights, because that could be a different story altogether than the gym.
Well, we'll see tonight, 6 rounds in a light heavyweight affair.
All right, fight fans, let's get the action going once again. Please welcome out of the red corner from Culiacan, Sinaloa, ladies and gentlemen, here is Cesar Barraza. And now, please welcome his opponent out of the blue corner from Phoenix, Arizona. Here is Fidel OG Hernandez. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, Arizona, Iron Boy is proud to present the feature attraction. This is the co-main event tonight, scheduled for 6 rounds of action in the 177-pound weight division. Sponsored by the Highlighter Gentlemen's Club, the Mint Dispensary, and Food City. Your 3 judges scoring this co-main event are Chris Wilson, Gonzalo Valenzuela, and Ruben Taylor. And the referee in charge of the action at the bell is Chris Flores. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner to my right. He enters the ring tonight wearing the black trunks trimmed with yellow. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 176.8 ready pounds. As a professional, his record stands 3 victories, against 0 defeats with 1 bout even. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Culiacán, Sinaloa, Mexico, introducing Cesar Barraza. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner to my left. He steps to the ring tonight wearing the gold trunks trimmed with black. When he stepped onto the scale, he went officially at 175 pounds even. As a professional, his record is an outstanding one, with 21 fights to his credit, including 17 victories against 4 defeats. 10 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, from Phoenix, Arizona, here is Fidel OG Hernandez. Once again, your referee in charge, Chris Flores, to give the final instructions.
Going over the instructions in the dressing room. I want to remind you to have a good, clean fight, all right? Touch him up.
And here we go, 6 rounds, light heavyweight division co-main event of the night. We got Cesar Barraza in the black and gold trim, with Fidel Hernandez in the gold and black. He came out classic style, old school style, just how you think an OG would. That's his nickname, is OG. Tell me about these glasses. He's wearing glasses in a thick gold chain, throwback style.
I remember when I signed with Main Events in 2003, I was deciding what outfit I was going to walk out in, and Kathy Duva, the president of Main Events, walks over to my dressing room and says, anything except don't wear any sunglasses. One of my fighters back in 1988, he wore sunglasses out to the ring, and then when he took them off, the lights affected his eyes. So I saw Fidel walking out with those sunglasses, and hopefully his eyes are okay right now.
I was a little disappointed coming in with that music. He had the big, thick gold chain, those glasses. Why he wasn't wearing Adidas? I think he missed an opportunity, right?
100%. But he's going to look to take advantage of a lot of the non-activity from his opponent Barraza. I've been in the gym. Fidel trains over at Legacy Fitness. They do MMA and boxing, and I've seen this kid put in a lot of good rounds with a lot of fighters over there. He really goes to the body nice. He's got some nice combinations. So this isn't one of those things where he doesn't know how to fight. He's an older guy who just coming in trying to make some money. He actually was a very distinguished amateur, and he's got some very nice combinations. But obviously he's not a light heavyweight. He's going to have to lower down in weight and move up the rankings fast because the clock's ticking.
What's really impressive in this first round right here with Hernandez is that you can tell that he's got the power in the right hand, but he's really picking him off with that left hook. He's throwing it to the body, he's throwing the jab, he's throwing the left hook to the head. It seems like he's picking his shots right there, and then he's giving him a little taste of the missile, and then he throws the nuke over top. He's doing a good job right now dealing with the pressure of Barraza.
See how he shoots the left inside, shoots the hook on the outside, changing angles of the punches. It's very difficult to defend an uppercut, a hook, an overhand right, and that's something Fidel does very well. He's not going to overwhelm you with speed or power, but him changing those angles like that, it makes it very difficult. Nice body shot.
Now, it looks like Fidel's doing a lot of switching stances. And is this something that you traditionally see him in the ring, or is this something new for this fight?
Yeah, just giving his opponent different looks and just trying to get him to...
Flurry against the ropes right there. Barraza doing a good job going to the body. Most of them look like they were blocked, but it's still, over time, those could hurt the arms, tire him out.
Well, Barraza's a strong guy. You see him coming forward. He's not really worried about the punches Fidel's landing. He's, looking to get inside and do some serious damage, and he's willing to take one to give one. It's important that Fidel doesn't load up with every punch here, that he's able to pick his shots, change the tempo and the speed of his shots to discourage Barraza as he's walking in. Good body shot. Nice left uppercut.
So far, it seems like Fidel's doing a good job on picking his shots and throwing the power where he needs to. Early to throw a little bit. Here we go, Barraza with a late round resurgence against the ropes on Fidel Hernandez. I think moving forward as an opponent, you can't ignore his age. You can't ignore that is Fidel's age. I mean, he has all this experience, but you got to hope that you can kind of bring him into some uncomfortable waters and give him a reason why he retired when he was 16 years ago, correct?
I mean, look, is Fidel going to be a world champion? Is he going to be a guy who's going to, unify the light heavyweight divisions? No, but can he make some noise? Can he make some good money? And can he give crowds very entertaining fights? Absolutely. He's got a lot of talent, and he's easing back into it now. Needs to use his advantage. In the first round, he sat on the ropes a little too much for me in the first round, but he still won the round, and he looked okay. So we'll see what he does in round 2.
I'm liking that the DJ's keeping with his old school feel right now. I'm feeling the vibe right now. Here we go, the start of round 2 of a 6-round contest. Light heavyweights, Fidel Hernandez again in your gold trunks, black trim. Cesar Barraza, black trunks, gold trim.
Nice
Big
right hand by Barraza.
Starts quick. He looks like he's keeping that pressure on Hernandez to see how much he's got left in that tank.
Well, he's physically bigger than Hernandez because, obviously Hernandez isn't a natural light heavyweight, but, one thing I would like to see Hernandez do is move to the right, not just to the left, right into the right hand of Barraza. So when you're a fighter, if a fighter's hitting you with one shot like Barraza's landing some right hands, don't move right into the direction of that right hand. Make him look for it. So go both ways. Of course, you can go to your left sometimes, but don't go right into the punch the entire fight. You see Fidel constantly moving to his left into the right hand of Barraza. I think that's a mistake.
I did see a lot of sparring footage on the Iron Boy Instagram, social media. It looks like Fidel was fighting heavyweights. It seems like he understands that he's in a division that he's a little bit too big for. A big left hook right there from Barraza. Is it typical for a fighter, knowing that you're in a weight division that you might not be fighting in constantly, to fight bigger than that, so that when you get in the ring that night that these punches really don't mean so much?
I think it's a mistake. I think, I think you got to stick to what your attributes are, whatever it is. I think when you try to do something you're not, that's how you get beat. And I think Fidel is going to be best off getting his head off the center, first of all, and just picking 2 and 3 shots, combinations, mixing them up, and not letting Barraza use his strength, because you can tell he's physically strong.
Barraza landing a lot of clean punches this round. Standing on the inside, exchanging with Fidel. Seems like Fidel's throwing a lot of punches, but the bigger, more power shots right now this round seem like they're going Barraza's way. Midway through the second round, as we say that, Hernandez almost hurt. Hears me. Planting his feet a little bit more, throwing some exchanges in the center of the ring.
Barraza's tough. I mean, the matchmaker did a good job. So obviously 3-0 without all the amateur experience, it doesn't really matter to Barraza so much, and he's making me eat my words a little bit. I'm surprised he's able to get on the inside with an experienced fighter like Fidel and mix it up. Does the age affect Fidel a little bit? Yeah, of course. Is he the fighter that he was 15 years ago? No, but he's still not bad. So Barraza's making a nice showing here in the second round. He's physically strong.
Almost throws Fidel down to the canvas there. You can tell that, big right hand by Barraza got Fidel stumbling back into the ropes. Looks like it was more of a balance shot, but a shot nonetheless. Oh, big left hook.
He's got a good chin, Barraza. He's walking through a lot of those shots. Fidel landed about 5 shots right there.
Fidel seems like he's having issues with the Barraza pressure here in round 2, though, especially towards this end.
It's body shot. I think Fidel's landing a lot of clean shots, but the shots of Barraza are having a little more effect. But you see Fidel, when he puts them together like that, you see him switching to southpaw. For nice left uppercut by Fidel. Very good shot. And he might have stole this round in the last 30 seconds. He landed about 15 or 20 clean shots there, James, and I just feel like, he might have done enough there to stay a very close round.
These 6 rounds, I have a feeling this is going to be one of those fights I'd hate to be a judge, because it's going to come down to, do you like the late round surgence of a fighter more than the beginning? Because a lot of times we see in fights, it's almost what have you done for us lately. A lot of judges like to split in between three quarters, right? 3 parts. Who won the first part, second part, third part, then whoever won the most gets the round. But a lot of times it's what happened recently. A lot of judges like to think of, like, if you win the second half of that round, a lot of times they tend to give that fighter that round. So it's going to be interesting to see how in these 6 rounds what they deal with this, because Barraza's doing a good job closing these rounds out. But then in this round here, number 2, we just saw that Hernandez did a good job in the last 30 seconds. And sometimes that is enough to get the round and get the nod.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Barraza's looking like a fresh fighter right now. He doesn't look affected by fatigue or by stamina. He's coming right out. He's putting a lot of pressure on Fidel. So Fidel's going to have to suck it up if he wants to win this fight. It's going to be a tough fight for him, but he's got the ability and the tools to do it. But You know, he's got a young, hungry, strong guy in front of him.
Barraza, good jab right there. Hernandez doing something that he hasn't typically been doing, circling a lot more. The first 2 rounds, it looked like he was staying in the pocket. So right now, it looks like he's trying to box with that jab, keep him on the outside a little bit more than he was before. Switching up that game plan. Good head moving by Hernandez there.
That's what he's got to do. Make the big guy miss. Don't catch all the punches. Make him miss.
Big left hand Barraza got him against the ropes again. Hernandez, again, with the back against the ropes, it looks like Hernandez really, there you go, he needs to turn him, keep him off of him, because right now, I think, like you said.
Nice body shot. Big right hand by Barraza.
Barraza doing a good job fighting off these ropes in this round 3 too now, as I was saying that, of course. Isn't that the way it always works? As soon as you say something, the reverse happens.
Hey, Barraza's sturdy. You know what he is? Fidel needs to box him, get his combinations off, and then get out of there. He doesn't need to sit there because that's Barraza's only shot.
You know, for a 3-0 fighter, though, you know, Barraza's doing a real good job in standing in there with someone like Hernandez.
He's doing a great job. He's just getting outworked on the ropes now. Fidel's been a lot busier this round, and he's taken this round, landing all the clean shots. Barraza's got a couple in there, but just not enough.
For the smaller fighter, looks like he's pulling him around the ring right there for a moment, too.
Nice left uppercut by Fidel. He's getting a lot of momentum here. The shots aren't really hurting Barraza's, but he's building up lead on the scorecards.
Yep.
If Fidel be smart here, he's not going to sit here and just take these shots. He's going to make Barraza miss a shot. Good right uppercut, left hook. Beautiful. Good left hook. Stay nice and calm. Right there on the inside.
Looks like Hernandez looks a little bit tired right here. Barraza's doing a good job keeping it against the rope. He's going head hunting like we were talking about Vaca. Does he need to go to a body here to stop Fidel?
He's not going to stop him, but he had a nice little surge right there. Landed some nice shots. Obviously, Fidel was in a little bit of trouble.
Fidel definitely got some punches in there, though, to keep, you know, I guess the pace going.
I still have Fidel up in this round from the first part of the round. I mean,
big right hand right there by Fidel, yep.
Barraza has definitely had a nice little 15 seconds right there, but for the rest of the round, Fidel's pretty much controlled it. Ooh, nice left hook by Barraza.
It's the ebb and flow in this fight that's making this as interesting. A lot of these times we do see like these fights on the inside. Sometimes they're amazing fights, sometimes they're boring. But it's the ebb and flow that's making this entertaining because it's constantly one fighter getting position. Here we go to close out the round. Barraza on cue towards the end of the round, finishing it off strong. But it's the ebb and flow in this fight right now. I mean, we just see the way they're swinging back and forth, constantly changing each other's momentum and trajectories.
I don't know. I got that another round for Fidel. Second round was close. First round, third round I have for Fidel. So.
The after party, Sushi Sonora. Come join the fighters and ring girls. Come have a good time. For the rest of the Iron Boy team, once again, Sushi Sonora, the official after party location where champions go to enjoy their victories. Also like to thank Clinic My Doc, located in Tempe. For more information and all your family medical needs, go to www.clinicmydoc.com. Also like to thank every law group, official personal injury lawyer, or
so heading into round 4, AJ, are we seeing what we're going to see throughout the fight? Can a fighter here, as gassed as they are, I'm not saying they're gassed in the sense that they're both, you know, they're going to be on fumes the rest of the fight, but they both are noticeably tired.
I don't think Barraza's tired at all. I think he's fine, and I think he's going to continually up the tempo. I don't feel like he's gassed at all. He's just gets a little handcuffed sometimes and doesn't let his hands go. I think Fidel is a little exhausted because he's having to work very hard to keep a much bigger man off him. And he's walking through a lot of those shots.
Big left hook by Barraza right there on the inside.
But he can't just take 3 or 4 like that just to get one, you know, because Fidel's definitely outworking him. Barraza's landed some good shots here and there, but he's not doing enough. He's not busy enough. Unless he scores the knockout, if the fight keeps going this way, Fidel's going to win a decision. It's only 6 rounds. If he had 10 rounds, I'd say this could be a decent strategy. But unless he scores the knockout, I just don't see him winning on the scorecards. Got to let his hands go. See Fidel shooting 4, 5, 6 punches.
Definitely seems like the combination punching is going to have Fidel on the scorecards up. Because, I mean, when Barraza lands, he lands with some authority. But, yeah, Fidel does keep the pace up, and he does throw a lot more punches. As we're saying that once again on cue, I'm getting told I'm wrong, but
Good body shot. Good left hook to the top. And you see how he sinks the body shot in. Nice veteran move. That was a great body shot, but that lowered the elbow just enough for him to get that left hook up top. Good, nice clean punching by Fidel. See him change. Left hook, right hook, left uppercut. Very difficult to defend all those angles. Tired or not. Nice left hook.
Peraza's got him once again against the ropes, and taking advantage of that, going down to the body.
Good left uppercut. He's just not doing
Big
enough,
left hook by Fidel right there.
He's strong, and the punches of Peraza are pushing Fidel definitely, but they're just not as clean as Fidel's punches.
He's got Peraza smiling coming forward, though, now. Is it?
Nice left hook.
Oh, big left hook.
He comes right back with that uppercut right after. You know, Fidel's really teeing off on Peraza in this round. He's, you know, Peraza's punching, but it's not as clean as Fidel's. He's not as much of a sharpshooter, obviously, but very physically strong. It's a nice return round. You see a cut over the left eye of Peraza now. Indication that a lot of those punches from Fidel are really doing some damage.
Look at that. As you say that, Fidel starts teeing off on that cut right there on the right side of his head. The accuracy is just targeting it right on top of it, too. When you get small cuts like that, is it more of an annoyance because you constantly feel it more than every time you get punched, or is it a sharp pain that just kind of stings and lingers?
I've fought 38 professional fights, and I've never had a cut, so I can't really answer that question. But I just see the work rate of Peraza dropping, Fidel's work rate continually staying the same, and, you know, that's a benefit of going 7 rounds in the gym with 30-second rests. I don't think Fidel's getting too exhausted here, even though he's got a fast pace.
So bring that on the other side then. Have you ever cut an opponent?
Yeah, many opponents.
Do you target
Look
that?
At that? Good punching by Fidel. Beautiful combinations. And Peraza can't just walk through all those punches. He's got to let his hands go.
Again, Peraza likes to keep him against the rope towards the end of the round.
Good round for Fidel.
Yeah. I would honestly say, though, I think Peraza did enough early and late to seal that round. I think that maybe going into this, we're going to see how the judges score, but I do think that to me, that would have been more of a Peraza round than Fidel.
And I'm on the other side. I think the punches of Fidel in that round, I think Peraza shot some good punches, some strong punches, but not near as clean. He didn't get his head snapped back near like Peraza did, and I feel like Fidel was more active too. So I thought the clean punches with the Fidel, obviously the pressure, Peraza had a lot of pressure, but you know, I thought clean punching, Fidel won that round. We'll see when they announce the scorecards.
Food City, Everlast, Pro Edge Boxing, and Tu Enfrenta. Once again, thank you to all our sponsors, Ralph the President, and every event possible. Thank you.
Coming in the round 5 of the light heavyweight affair here, round 5 out of 6 rounds altogether, so we got 2 more left here. Fidel coming out guns blazing, using that jab, trying to keep his distance.
Now Fidel just needs to sit back, stay on his back foot, and just walk Peraza into the punches here because Peraza's cooperating. He's going to continually come forward, so you can set a lot of traps and do a lot of things to walk your opponent into hard power punches when they continually come forward. Look at those shots.
Peraza, on the other hand, needs to be cutting off the ring, and he's not necessarily doing that. Is that allowing Fidel to do what he's doing and keep it at a maintain the pace that he is?
It's just, you know, he had a couple good moments, but he's just, Peraza's waiting to get too close before he punches. He's got to use the jab or use something on the way in so Fidel can't tee off on him like he has the entire fight. Peraza's giving Fidel nothing to look at. Too close without punching. You can't be that close without shooting something. He's waiting too long. He's down on the scorecards. He's got to let his hands go. And you see all the punches of Fidel are now taking an effect on Peraza. He's not coming forward as hard as he was. Why? He's been hit cleanly in the temple and the chin multiple times, and that's taking a little gas out of the gas tank. Nice left hook. Nice left hook by Peraza. See in a second, Fidel's going to go to the body, and Peraza's not, and that's the difference.
It's funny
because body shot. Good body shot.
It seems like Peraza from time to time forgets to throw a certain type of punch. Fidel does it, then he remembers to throw that punch now. It's almost like he gets hit with it, and he decides he's going to kind of copy Fidel a little bit.
You know, Fidel isn't going to be the strongest or the fastest light heavyweight, but, you know, and as he continually trains, I think he's going to get down to 168, but he's got some nice combinations, and he's going to, you know, always be an entertaining fight because of his style. Head on the center there. Here's Peraza's opportunity. Got to let his hands go.
talked about Barraza being the bigger fighter. He's allowing Fidel to come forward and just do what he wants. Big right hand over top from Fidel right there on the inside.
He's letting the smaller fighter bully him, and why? Yep. Because Fidel is punching from all angles and all combinations. He's the better schooled fighter.
It's almost like Fidel's not even having to use that much head movement. It's almost like his offense is his defense in this fight.
Well, Barraza's punch output has gotten very low. Yep. Nice left hook. Big left hook.
Barraza was in the middle of the throne right there, too. I imagine those are the most deadly.
Yeah, both guys when they're shooting left hooks, both never hook with a hooker is the saying. But, you know, Fidel took the shot nice. It landed cleanly by Barraza. Nice. Look at all those combinations from Fidel. There's not a lot on the punches, but, I mean, he's landing them. Another round where, you know, he hit Barraza 4 or 5 punches to every one of Barraza. Nice uppercut.
You know, if you were to tell someone that Fidel has been out of the ring for 16 years, it seems like, you know, I don't want to use the same old adage and say it's like riding a bike, but in here it kind of does seem like it. I mean, he's throwing the same. Oh, he gets thrown down to the ground, it looks like at the end. A little bit of frustration on the end of Barraza. Fidel getting up, taking it like a champ. Moving to the 6th and final round here, we got to assume that Fidel is up on the card.
100%.
Does Barraza have enough? Can he do enough to steal this and at least either eke a close draw? I guess a close draw is kind of redundant, but try to get that draw, or does he go for the knockout here? Where does he go? Does he go for the moral victory, stay in there with someone like Fidel, or does he go for the knockout?
No, he's undefeated. He's got to go. He's got to go for the win. You can't just sit back when you're an undefeated fighter and go for the draw. You got to go for the win. So if Barraza wants to win this fight, he's got to step on the gas. He's got to score a knockout because Fidel is definitely up on the scorecards based on the fact that he's landed all the clean shots.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and cheer the fighters on. This is the 6th round.
Go to the 6th and final round of this light heavyweight contest. Fidel Hernandez versus Cesar Barraza. We'll see what Barraza wants to win. We'll see how much he's got left in the tank. We'll see how much he really wants this.
No, he wants to win. I don't think he's got the skill or the tool set to win this fight. You know, he came into a fight. He's got a lot of heart, a lot of guts. He's very strong, but he just, you know, sometimes when you need a certain tool to win a fight, you know, you can't get a Phillips, you know, you can't get a flathead screw off with a Phillips screwdriver. So you got to have the right tools. You got to have a drill sometimes. You got to have a ratchet. You got to have different tools to be able to win fights like this. And Barraza just simply doesn't have the tools.
Traditionally, when you see a fighter on the inside come against the ropes like he does with Barraza, I mean, you would think that Barraza would take that opportunity and throw, but it's been all Fidel these 6 rounds once he's on the inside with his backs against the ropes. I mean, there's been pockets, and here we go with those left good right uppercuts inside from Fidel, but I mean, it just seems like Barraza has the opportunity, just not taking advantage of what he needs to do.
Fidel's hitting him with a lot of punches. Barraza's used to coming in, being able to have his way a little bit, and Fidel's getting off first, middle, and last. And when a guy's getting hit like that, it might not look like much, but when he's in the ring getting hit with those kind of shots and uppercuts, it's harder than you think to get off. Gritty performance by Fidel. He's in with a bigger, stronger guy, but not a better guy, but he's the better fighter. He's the sharper fighter, and you know, he's proving it. You know, in the 2nd or 3rd round, you look like there's going to be some tough moments for Fidel, and you know, there definitely is, but he's landing the cleaner, sharper punches.
I mean, off the back there, he threw a good 1-2 combination. It was more than a 1-2 combination, but it was a good little flurry. I mean, he's using his momentum from just shrugging his shoulder, and you can clear. That's where his amateur background comes from, his years of experience is coming from.
Yes. You see Fidel exhausted here. And this is the area of the fight. This is the area of the fight where, you know, as he moves up in opposition, he's going to have to be sharper in these rounds 5, 6, and 7 because the good guys will make him pay here. But good step up. You know, he's just coming back and gave the fans a good show. Barraza's going to win this round, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him to win on the scorecards. I got Fidel winning the fight. Barraza's having a much better 6th round, though. See Fidel exhausted. Big left hook. Big left hook again.
big left hook kind of caught Fidel's chin in the air, but he's doing a good job to finish off this round. Maybe Fidel knows that in this round that he doesn't want to, it's prideful. He knows that he might have been losing this round. He's trying to steal here at the end.
Great fight.
Good fight.
A lot of action. You know, CompuBox would have been proud on a fight like that because both guys, not Barraza in the beginning, but Fidel shot 80, 90, 100 punches around, it seemed like.
Light heavyweights, it's rare. Two fighters showing some good sportsmanship. Cesar Barraza definitely showed some more. We would like to see him again, obviously, on the Iron Boy broadcast. I'm sure we will see Fidel Hernandez no matter what. But this was a great spirited affair between these two fighters. We had a fighter that was coming forward the entire time in Cesar Barraza. And we did talk about Barraza being about, I think he's like 37, 38. So he himself is a little bit older. But these two guys show that age is just a number. I mean, they went in here, they fought their heart out, and both of them gave everything that they could. And I'm really proud to see that this type of fighter, going into the ages that they are, that they were able to pull this off. Moments away from the official decision. Once again, this was Fidel Hernandez versus Cesar Barraza. 6 rounds light heavyweight affair here at Iron Boy 43 live at the Celebrity Theaters. Right in front of us, the crowd giving the response of what they thought was a great fight between these two combatants. We're going to kick it up here in a few moments to Sonny Franco for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for both of these warriors? 6 fantastic rounds of boxing action. And now to the judges' scorecards, we go for the official decision. Chris Wilson and Rocky Taylor both see about 60-54, while Gonzalo Valenzuela sees it 59-55. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, from Phoenix, Arizona, Fidel OG Hernandez.
All right, guys, I'm with the winner, Fidel Hernandez. And yesterday at the weigh-in, brother, you and I were talking extensively, and you said something to me that we kind of share the same stories. I got started in this business at 32 years old after people told me that I was crazy to do it. For those of you guys that don't know in the crowd, this man took a 15-year layoff to handle 16-year layoff. to handle his business and to start training kids and take care of his community. And he told me that his dreams were going to become regrets if he didn't come back in this ring. How do you feel right now, brother?
I feel good. A little bit tired, you know. He was a tough fighter. And I didn't expect to go 6 rounds, but it's tough and I needed it.
You have a lot of people that come out and support you. The other day, the last time you fought here, half of this arena was all your fans. Anything you want to say to these guys or people that are watching at home that aren't here to tell them what you're made of?
Well, honestly, I have a lot of heart. That's because of everybody's support. Supports me, that's why I'm here. I'm here with all you guys. Everybody that bought a ticket for me to come see me fight. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, one more big round of applause for Fidel OG Hernandez. Guys, back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I want to take a quick moment.
If you have served in our armed forces in the past or currently, please rise at this time. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for all of these brave men and women that serve our great nation, the US of A. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you please rise, remove your hats, in observance of 2 national anthems. First, El Himno Nacional de México, being presented by recording artist Mr. Luis Ville.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Ciño patria, tus sienes de oliva, de la paz el arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios escribió. Mas si osare un extraño enemigo profanar con su planta tu suelo, pienso, patria querida, que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Feliz día de la bandera mexicana. ¡Viva México!
And now please remain standing and remain absolutely silent. Ladies and gentlemen, to show our appreciation to all those who are in attendance tonight, served in our armed forces, and to those who could not be here, for the love of the USA, take your right hand and put it over your heart in observance of our nation's anthem, to be performed by a lovely recording artist, Miss Erin Grace.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Once again, Miss Erin Grace and Mr. Luis Ville. All right, fight fans, let's get the action going for the final time this night. Please welcome Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, out of the blue corner from Phoenix, Arizona. Give it up for Alexis Beaver Santiago.
No solo miedo manes, también la cumbre de salto. El enemigo malo, que me tiene acumulado y frecuencia más los radios. Porque no faltan los traidores o si surgen atentados. Aunque yo ni el vicerine estar entre el fuego cruzado. El ojo está tirante, un pirata mentado, llevando en alto la bandera, gritando por aquí gente nueva, asegurándonos su puesto, tratando con gente ya de veras. Debes ir tu par pelea, con el escudo y la pechera, la superó la guerrera. Preparados para la guerra. A Fredo le dio la batuta para que el respeto tuviera. Regla finiquera, pariente.
And now, please welcome his opponent out of the red corner. Ladies and gentlemen, from Phoenix, Arizona, here is Carlos Castro.
Dice
Ladies and gentlemen, Iron Boy Promotions is proud to present the feature attraction, as this is the main event of the evening. Sponsored by American Family Clinic, Esquivel Law Group, the official law group of Iron Boy Promotions, and the Mint Dispensary. Sanctioned by the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Executive Director Juan C. Estrada. Boxing and MMA Assistant Miss Norma Rivero. Inside the ring, USNBC Chairman Travis Ford. Your three judges scoring this bout, should it go the distance, are Chris Wilson, Gonzalo Valenzuela, and Rocky Taylor. Timekeeper Lindsay Muzichenko. Ringside physician, Dr. Robin McDougall. And last but definitely not least, the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Wes Melton. 10 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBC USNBC Super Bantamweight Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Celebrity Theater here in the beautiful city of Phoenix, Arizona, where battles are fought and champions are made. Ladies and gentlemen, let the battles begin. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He steps in the ring tonight wearing the pink trunks trimmed with white and black. When he stepped onto the scale, he went officially at 122 pounds even. As a professional, his record is an outstanding one, including 21 victories against 5 defeats. 9 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Mayweather Boxing Club and fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, introducing Alexis Beaver Santiago. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the red corner to my right. He stepped in the ring tonight wearing the red trunks trimmed with gold. When he stepped onto the scale, he went in officially at 120.8 ready pounds. As a professional, he steps in the ring tonight undefeated. 19 wins with 0 losses. 9 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Knockout Boxing Club and fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, here is the infamous Carlos Castro. Once again, your referee in charge, Wes Melton, to give the final instructions.
Okay, Chief Seconds. Okay, fellas. This is for the WBC title. Went over the rules in the dressing room. Check these trunks, these are a little low. Check these trunks, these are good. Let's have a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times and obey my commands. Touch them up, bang at the bell.
You know, it's an age-old question whether the blue chip prospect will be able to dethrone the veteran and the hardiness of, I guess, a fighter that's been in there as long as Santiago. What's more important than the title tonight, you can hear by this crowd, is the pride of Phoenix, Arizona. This fight has been in a build-up for a long time, years in the making since the amateurs. Finally, we're going to get an answer. Who's going to win tonight? Who's the better fighter, Santiago or Castro?
Already you can see Santiago doesn't have the typical Hispanic-style fighter where he comes forward. He's got his left hand down. You heard it. You see the TMT socks by Santiago. You see the left hand down, a little bit like Floyd Mayweather, how he comes out. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's adapted that style and how he's going to fight against an opponent, undefeated opponent, Carlos Castro. See Santiago just kind of flicking that jab out, looking for opportunities to counter with his right hand or his check left hook. When you have that style, you look for opportunities to counter, slide back and counter with the left hook or do the pull counter off your opponent's jab.
When you know an opponent so well, is it sometimes more difficult to get started because you know what's coming back? Is sometimes maybe ignorance is bliss?
No, I feel like if you know your opponent and you've seen him and you're familiar with the style, then you should know how to come out immediately. And you know, like we talked about, this fight's been brewing for a long time, and both guys have been looking forward to fighting each other. So, you know, 10-round fight, no rush, but I'm a little surprised the guys after the other fights we've seen, a little surprised these guys are both kind of coming out studying each other so much.
Alexis Santiago in the pink shorts with the breast cancer, looks like Satch on the bottom of it. Carlos Castro, red shorts, gold trim, good jab coming on the inside for Carlos Castro. You can see how much longer he is. He's definitely going to want to utilize that jab to keep Santiago on the outside, but Santiago's doing a good job with his footwork. Ooh, jab as he came in, but Santiago, as I was saying, is doing a good job keeping his footwork in there to keep him out of the pocket.
Santiago jabbed down on the body, but didn't change levels with his body. He jabbed straight down on the body and didn't get down there with it, and Castro was able to hit him with a counter jab.
Left his head wide open.
You jab downstairs, get down with the shot. Don't jab with your head up. It's easy to get hit with a counter right hand. Castro hit him with a nice check hook.
Bit of a feeler around here as expected, but Castro's doing a good job using that length, using his footwork again, his jab to keep him on the outside, controlling the tempo and the pace right now. Santiago needs to get on the inside and figure out what he needs to do here.
Santiago, though, you can tell by the way he's fighting, he's not an inside fighter. He's a guy who's going to stay on the outside and look to sharpshoot you and pick you off. Nice right hand from Castro. He's not gonna mull inside and take one to give one. He's looking to counter and look for opportunities to pick his spots from the outside.
Santiago turning up the heat. Castro meeting him in the kitchen. Good lead right hand right there by Castro in the round. Slow and steady round, bit of a feeler. You can tell maybe there's some sort of nerves in there, but I mean, at this point right now, it seems like they're both trying to jockey for position, trying to get that timing down. It's gonna be tough moving forward, but
just feeling each other out. Neither fighter landed really too many clean punches, so it's a situation where, you know, both guys will look for opportunities to score more and hurt their opponent more in the second and third round. Neither guy landed anything clean.
Heading into round 2 of this bantamweight affair for the WBC USNBC title. 10-round fight. Referee again, once again, is Wes Milton.
Social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I imagine the problem with a fighter like Santiago is no matter how you do in the early rounds, he's so seasoned and so well, I guess, versed in these type of situations that he's going to be dangerous throughout the entire fight, correct?
100%. I'm not too familiar with his 5 losses, who he's fought, but you see Castro coming out in the second round, already looking to up the pace with those 2 body shots. Didn't get hit with anything clean. His corner probably told him, hey, look, haven't really seen too much, so, you know, step on the gas a little bit.
Santiago in his last fight did lose to a fighter, Juan Carlos Payano, who actually got a victory over Olympic gold medalist Rasheed Warren. So, I mean, he's been in there with some really good opponents. He's also from the TMT gym, so we know that he has that ability. Ooh, big left hook from Santiago on the inside. Really got Carlos back for the first time in the fight.
Nice left hook. Now, Rasheed Warren was an Olympian, but he wasn't a gold medalist. I remember that team very well, but Rasheed Warren, he actually went to 2 different Olympics.
Yeah, I'm not undefeated without box rep, DJ. I need this.
He was the only Olympian to go to 2, you know, in the last like 15 years to go to 2 different Olympics, and he lost, I believe, on the first night both times. Very talented guy, though, and he was a favorite to win a medal, but he wasn't able to get it. The reason I know that is because I did 12 and 16 for Rio and London, and they had high expectations for him, and he wasn't able to do it. But Payano, a tough guy. Obviously, if he beat Santiago, you know, Santiago's been in with some good opposition. Payano fought for the world title a couple times.
Payano's definitely got the power, and Santiago's been in there. So it looks like, you know, Castro's trying to lean into his punches a little bit more. But, I mean, again, ooh, big left hook, right-hand combination from Castro down the middle.
Nice 1, 2, 3.
Woke
nice
up
jab to the
Santiago.
body by Castro.
There you go, he's talking about he's lowering himself like you were talking about.
He's got to do that. And when you see a guy with his hands straight up like this, both hands vertical, his body's not turned, both hands up like this, the jab to the body and the right uppercut and the left uppercut are the perfect shots. Castro's taking advantage of that handcuff guard like Santiago's doing. You don't want to sit in front of your opponent with your hands up like that. It gives him too many offensive opportunities. Got a
nice right uppercut. It didn't land clean, but it was definitely a good attempt. There he goes again with that.
Now we got a fight breaking out here, James.
Yes, we do.
Nice right hand by Santiago. You see Castro picking some nice angles. Nice left hook again by Santiago. See, he's got some good offense, and he knows how to counter.
Like you talked about, outbox him on the outside, so getting on the inside and turning into a firefight might make Castro uncomfortable and bring him into waters that we don't quite know about, because we know Santiago could definitely swim in the deep end.
Santiago's landing some nice right hands and left hooks. He's getting a little outworked by Castro, but he's landing some nice clean shots. So you see the tempo, the pace picking up, regardless who wins this round. You see the third, fourth, fifth rounds is going to be a lot of action. Neither fighter really like to sit on the outside and feel each other out. The crowd really into this fight.
A lot on the lines. Pride of Phoenix, Arizona right here.
Nice body shot by Castro. Sunk that in very nicely. And you know, the winner of this fight will get a top 15 to top 20 ranking by the WBC in the bantamweight division, so a lot on the line.
As we head into the third round, it seems like right now that second round could have gone either way. This crowd seems like they're split just as much as that second round might be. But BJ, I'm going to ask you questions, comments, concerns for both fighters.
I think Santiago's got to make sure he doesn't get outworked. Castro is able to land, you know, a slightly more amount of punches. Santiago landed the cleaner punches, but you want to make sure Castro doesn't outwork you. So Santiago's got to tighten up his counter punching a little bit, really make Castro pay whenever he misses, and that'll slow down the punch output of Castro.
The Highlander Gymnast Club, Fit Dispensary, Sushi Sonora, the official after-party location for Iron Boy Promotions. Sushi Sonora, where champions go to enjoy their victories. Mariscos El Dorado, El Magazine, AZ Nota, Food City, Everlast, Pro Edge Boxing, and the Caesar Graphics. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors for helping make tonight's event and every bit possible. Thank you.
Start of round three, Santiago again in the pink trunks where Carlos Castro is wearing the red with gold trim. Good double left hook right there, circling with it. That is Castro.
Santiago's got to be a little more offensive to keep Castro honest, because Castro's now starting to let his hands go. And Santiago doesn't want to just put his hands up and block the shots and let him get off and then let him circle around. So got to counterpunch him, taunt him and feint him a little bit. Don't let him just shoot whatever he wants. And when you put your hands up like this, you're handcuffing yourself.
Good head movement there a moment ago from Castro. Staying up. When he's on the inside, you do see him raising, going up and down, raising those levels. He works the body pretty well. You know, it's very surprising that if you were to tell me which one would be the undefeated fighter on the up and coming, I mean, Castro's doing a great job of being the poised fighter in there. Not that Santiago isn't, but I'm surprised at how good Castro's maintaining what he's doing right here.
He looks poised. I think that's a great word for him. He looks very calm. He's landing, you know, decent shots on the inside. He's doing, he's being more active than Santiago, and a lot of times in fights like this, the judges score activity, and especially if none of the punches are very damaging. So he's got a nice pace in the third round here.
Castro against the rope. Santiago definitely holding those arms, showing that he's got that veteran tactics inside of him. Look at that. Santiago gives him a second to breathe. Castro gets off those ropes and starts to turn into
nice left uppercut.
Yep.
He slipped inside, countered the left jab with that left uppercut. He's really going to be doing well when he brings the right hand behind that left uppercut. And you see with the right hook, the same thing, or the right uppercut. Bring the left hook behind it. Don't just shoot one uppercut at a time. Nice body shot. Nice body shot.
Castro making Santiago miss. I mean, right now you hear the chants for the Santiago seconds ago. It's really, you know, kind of gearing up. He's been training out in Las Vegas for some time now, but he's definitely not been forgotten by the Phoenix fan base here. Carlos Castro trying to turn those boos into ooze.
Good
tonight.
body shot by Castro. I see Castro landing a lot much cleaner, much harder shots in there. You see him really sitting down and getting his legs into the punches.
It's almost a leverage from his length that he's able to land with too.
It's that, but look at how his feet position and the way he's planted. He's punching from his legs, and Santiago's punching a little more from his upper body. Two things happen. You get tired because you're using your arms, and the legs are a much larger muscle group, but you don't get all the power on the shots either. So, nice
big left hook, right hand by Santiago on the inside. Carlos is looking to exchange. Oh, big right hand by Carlos on the out there. Sorry, over the top there. Sometimes I get so worked up watching this, I get flustered myself.
You see, nothing really seems to bother Castro too much. He's taking it all in stride, even when he gets hit with good shots, and I had him winning that round.
Those were two big clean shots. Oh, big right uppercut on the inside for Castro and Santiago. Having to be torn apart by referee Wes Milton. Big ending to a big third round here for the WBC USNBC title fight. Heading into the fourth round, we definitely see a kind of a flow into this fight on where it's edging with the momentum right now for Carlos Castro, but Santiago's doing all that he can to drudge up the waters and bring these middle rounds and make those late rounds really his. Just looking at the corner, I mean, I'm not lip read, but just judging by the gestures, it looks like they're trying to ask Santiago to go up the middle with some more shots, maybe work on the body a little bit. Would you agree with that assessment?
I just think he needs to let his hands go, period. He can't just sit back and wait for Castro to get off first. You see him coming in the middle of the ring. He's already trying to get out there and get in the action, but there's a possibility he's down 2-1. Maybe 3-0 he could be, but I think it's probably 2-1. But both guys need to get going here in this fourth round. If you're Santiago, you got to look for opportunities when Castro punches to land clean, sharp counter punches. Like when Castro shoots one single right uppercut, you can counter that. And that's what Santiago needs to do if he wants to keep in this fight.
Both men here trying to change the position of the fight. They've been traditionally starting slow in the rounds. We got a fast round here in round 4.
Both guys working on the inside. You see Santiago starting to land some of those left hooks, get closer, walk Castro down. He's got to punch when he's walking inside with the high guard like that.
Castro's doing a good job planting that lead left foot, not allowing himself to get backed down by the tougher, smaller Santiago, because he's definitely doing his most trying to back him up with that forearm.
Look at his foot position, Castro. He's got his left foot very far forward, and that allows him to get leverage on both shots, the left and the right hand. So he's always in position to punch and turn. Very key. And you see Santiago a little squared up sometimes. You see both hands like this, his feet. Nice left uppercut. He's going to have his moments because he's a talented fighter, but the body position of Castro is better for combination punching and power punching on the inside. Good body shot.
Looks like there's a little bit of blood. I'm not quite sure which fighter is bleeding right now, but there's been a lot of inside
left uppercut.
blood.
Nice left uppercut by Castro. Looks like it's the face of Castro. The face of Santiago looks pretty clean, but it's a matter of time before both fighters are bleeding profusely if they continue to fight at close
big
quarters.
right uppercut as Santiago comes on the inside, takes it well.
Nice left uppercut.
Oh, big right hand from Santiago on the outside.
Very, very exciting fight. Yes. And here in the fourth round, now we're starting to see the style and temperament of both fighters. They both like to get on the inside. Santiago is going to throw Castro off a little bit with the style in the first round, but Tiger doesn't change his stripes, and this is what he is. See how Santiago made him miss there? That's very important. Don't just catch all the punches on your gloves, James. Make your opponent miss, and that'll get him off balance and give you opportunities to counter.
It seems like Santiago's getting, this is the fight that Santiago wants, but it seems like Castro at this point is taking more advantage of the position he's given.
He's landing the cleaner, harder shots. Good work by Santiago.
Looks like it might be the nose of Castro, I believe, that might be bleeding.
Yep. Coming down pretty good. Nice left jab by Santiago.
Ooh, nice 1-2 straight down the pipe right there. Santiago almost wasn't expecting
Castro's walking straight in. If both fighters would use their jabs, have a lot more success over here. So
both fighters try to take a position of a down position. Referee will allow it though because this crowd is going crazy, and that's all that matters.
You saw the camera guy score a knockdown against Wes Melton over there. Wes went down and it jumped up pretty quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the after party. Immediately follows tonight's event, Sushi Sonora. They'll join the fighters, the ring girls, and the rest of the Iron Boy.
I mean, heading into the 5th round here, it's been nothing but just a spectacular fight. I mean, we're seeing two different fighters here that typically try the same style. Santiago obviously having to change his style to deal with the length of Castro. This crowd's going crazy. I hope you at home are feeling the excitement and the energy inside of this. We're getting two men right now that are putting everything on the line.
I just think Castro's landing the cleaner shots, and you know Santiago's definitely having his moments. He's getting a lot of good shots in there as well, but Castro is controlling the action a little bit, and even though Santiago's coming forward, Castro's putting the clean leather on him. You've got to give him the round. So
he's maintaining his balance as well, Castro, that is. He's keeping his fundamentals there, not losing sight of himself inside of these exchanges, which to me is very impressive, especially when you know the level of opposition that he's been. He's been in with good fighters, but we're not talking about the fighters or the world class that Santiago has. So with Castro being his first attempt at a world-class fighter, he's doing a darn good job.
I agree. And that comes from his feet position. Look at his feet. Left foot forward, always good leverage on all those shots because his left foot is forward and his right shoulder's back. And that allows him to get good turn and good leverage on those shots. Santiago trying to make a case for himself. Nice right uppercut by Santiago.
Santiago continuously trying to get Castro against those ropes. You can see him just kind of bullying him, trying to get him, jockey him from position, tire him down a little bit. Wes Melton looks like wasn't liking the hanging on of Castro there for a second, kind of wiped his arm down. Ooh, nice right overhand right from Castro.
Good body shot. And when they land that nice, when they shoot that one single right hook to the body, if you're Santiago, you got to catch that shot and come back up the middle with a left uppercut, left hook, something to keep him honest. Don't let him shoot one single body shot. Nice right hand by Santiago. Don't let your opponent just load up with one body shot. You got to make him pay. Make him put that away. Make him pick something else.
Good combination, uppercuts on the inside right there, Santiago. Jockeying for position constantly in these rounds.
And Santiago needs to punch before he gets in close range. He's walking in with his hands up, trying to walk his man down, but it's not working because he's not doing enough. You got to punch before you get into range. You see Santiago hands up, walk in, gets close, lets Castro shoot first, lets him shoot first again. Good combination there from Santiago, but so far at this point in the fight, we're almost halfway through, James, he hasn't done enough to make a case to win these rounds. He's letting Castro pull away from him.
Making it exciting is not enough to win the rounds, yep. And this is almost the stark contrast to what we saw in the last fight between Fidel Hernandez and Cesar Barraza, where Barraza wasn't being as active as Santiago. Santiago's definitely doing a better job on the inside, I guess, testing Castro a little bit more.
Right.
Same vein, though, right? He's coming forward, but he's just not throwing as much as whereas Castro is.
That crow horse. It's a lot of punches to not a lot of punches over in this fight. It's starting to, they're really starting to distinguish themselves now.
Oh! Big right hand to end the round for Santiago once again. We saw some clear punching towards the end, but, coming into these rounds, we got to think Santiago's got to do something. His current position, his current style that he's fighting in, what can he do different at this point? Does he stay on the outside and try to box a little bit more and just maintain? Or does he continue to try to pressure, like you said, get a little bit more volume on it?
He needs more punches. He's not going to sit on the outside. We saw him try to do that in the first round a little bit, but he could do that if he's got the skill set to do that. I would love to see that, but he's got to be more busy on the inside. He's got to work a little smarter, not necessarily harder, but smarter. He's not punching when he gets in range. He's waiting till the other guy gets off, and sometimes it's just not working out for him. So punch as you're getting into range instead of getting into range, taking some, and then looking for shots to punch. Sometimes you got to go first.
traditionally when we see that, left hand down by the waist, like we saw when we commented about a Mayweather, you saw that with someone like Thomas Hearns where he would really pop his jab out. Is Santiago missing a jab right now? It could be good to kind of start utilizing something like that, because right now he is showing up with the two hands, which isn't really doing much to get him on the inside other than stop some punches that when he kind of barrels in.
One thing about Thomas Hearns, though, the reason he left his left hand low like that is because he would set you up for his right hand, and he had lights out power, completely different than any welterweight had ever had at that. What he did to Roberto Duran, what he did to Iran Barkley, those guys, when he fought those guys, he was electric with his right hand. He would bait you in, hit you with that right hand. It was lights out. Very, very special fighter, once in a lifetime type of fighter, Tommy Hearns.
Good shoe-shine combination on the inside, Carlos Castro. Seems right now that Castro's more of the matador tonight than the fighter, because as Santiago barrels forward, he's just doing a good job, or Castro that is, using that left hook, circling out and keeping his distance.
He's not letting his hands go enough.
Santiago, that is, yeah. Again, we hear the power support of the crowd behind Alexis, Beaver, Santiago. That's what you're hearing right now. You're hearing them chant the name of Beaver, Santiago's nickname. Ooh, nice right uppercut on the inside, Carlos Castro. Again, good uppercut to the body. It seems like now he's kind of throwing because Santiago's coming in with his head straight down the middle. He's dipping down, but now Castro's catching it with that right hand. It looked like a second ago he landed a good, there's that right hook, or right uppercut again, excuse me. It's almost like he's throwing it. If he hits his body or he hits his head, he's still going to throw it.
He can't miss whenever he's square like that, James. It doesn't matter what he shoots. Left uppercut, right uppercut. If he's square, he's going to hit with one of those shots. Jab to the body, left uppercut, right uppercut, will not miss. He's really starting to have his way with Santiago now.
As much as the distance and timing, it's almost the variety of punches that Castro is giving him that's confusing Santiago. He's going to the body, hooks, uppercuts, everything. Some people do forget about certain punches and miss the fight, but I mean, it seems like Castro right now is throwing everything he knows about, I guess, fighting inside here.
Good body shot, nice body shots. Gets a lot of leverage on those shots.
Ooh, good pivot turn right there. And around 6, we heard a little bit of a chant for Carlos Castro. Again, we talked about that turn, those boos and the oohs, winning over this crowd. He definitely had a little bit of, he did have a crowd support in the beginning of the fight, but now it seems like it's definitely turning in his favor. He's doing a good job handling the old rugged veteran like we talked about with Santiago. DJ, now we're at the point of the fight where Castro is obviously winning these rounds. What are you telling your fighter in the corner? He's doing well. What are you telling Castro to do more to take it over the top and really close this out?
I mean, just tell him to keep doing what he's doing. Eventually, he's going to catch him with something that might hurt him, shake him. If not, I just you skate to the scorecards and win the decision. But I think he's fighting a very complete fight, Castro. I think he looks good. If I'm in the corner of him, I'm very happy with what he's doing. He looks great. Santiago saying he wants to come forward. He's rushing out, but he's just not doing enough.
I was going to say, he's meeting him in the middle of the ring, too. He's very eager to get back in there. Good job, Castro, getting his back off those ropes right there. Right uppercut, left hook combination, turn out.
He's at the point of the fight now where he's like, look, if you're not going to punch, I'm happy to punch. So Castro is going to take advantage of that. He's doing what any good fighter would do. Santiago's walking in, handcuffing himself. shooting some nice counters here and there, but just not busy enough. This is a bantamweight fight, and he's shooting, I would say, 30 to 35 punches around. It's not going to get the job done, James.
Ooh, good combination straight down the middle for Castro, that is. It follows it up with another encore. Santiago with a decent right hand. As I say that, Carlos Castro throws a good 1-2 down, landing on the chin of Santiago.
Santiago obviously very game, very tough, coming forward. He's taking a lot of shots tonight, and you know, it's going to be interesting to see if Castro would just go to the body a little more and start to mix some of those combinations from body to head. It'll be very interesting to see like how those punches affect Santiago.
Santiago's doing a good job taking these shots. I mean, we're talking about Carlos Castro, who only has 8 knockouts, but he does have 2 of his last 4 wins have come by way of knockout. 1 in the first round against Jorge Diaz, and number 4 against Basilio Nieves, both good fighters. So, I mean, you know, again, we talked about Santiago being very seasoned and very elite at this type of level, but I mean, Carlos definitely he's given everything he has. This is probably his first time landing these type of shots on an opponent and not deterring him in any way.
Right, correct. Nice right hand. He's just so busy. And Santiago is walking, he's cutting down the real estate, he's cutting down the distance, but he's letting Castro get off first, you know, the entire fight. It's mind-boggling to me how close he's waiting to get before he punches.
Santiago's being aggressive, but it's not effective aggressiveness, which is obviously one of the criteria of scoring inside the fight. But I mean, if you think about the way Castro's fighting, like you talked about, it's almost his aggressiveness off that back foot that's allowing him to sway this kind of decision or kind of put this in his bag the way he's been winning the fight.
Not even close, actually. Castro's won. Besides the first round being a little close and the third round maybe for Santiago, every other round is with the Castro and hasn't been close.
Yeah. Good right to the body right there by Castro. Heading into round 8, just 3 more rounds to go. It seems like right now Santiago has an uphill battle. We'll see if he's got what it takes. He's definitely been in these situations before where, like I talked about, he's been in there with a lot of high-level athletes, specifically Juan Carlos Bayano, Jose Caetano. See what he has left here.
Personal injury lawyer for Iron Boy Promotions and our longest standing sponsor. A big, gigantic thank you to Esquivel. Thank you for all of your support. Proud to make tonight's event and every event possible. Thank you.
Main event, round number 8. Phoenix, Arizona Celebrity Theater, Iron Boy 43. Once again, I'm James Meyer, joined alongside the great, wonderful BJ Flores, heavyweight.
Nice left jab by Santiago. James, I mean, it's far too late in the fight, but, you know, he needs to get that punch going. Boom, he's right there, exactly. He needs to push off that back foot, cut the distance down, and make Castro pay with that straight left jab. Look for an opportunity to set up the right hand and left hook. He can land the shots, but he's got to shoot them. Right there, push, back jab, push, jab. Walking in. You can't walk in with a guy like Castro. Beating him to the punch all night. He can hit Castro if he lets his hands go. Straight 1-2s down the middle will get the job done. But,
you know, Castro's doing a good job that, you know what, although we're in round 8 and there's this type of pressure on him, he's not really, look at that flurry, look at the power. It seems like his cardio is there, his power punching is still there from the first round. That's definitely got to be, I guess, demoralizing to someone like Santiago moving forward the way he does.
Santiago's not punching though, James. If he would let his hands go, he would have much greater success. And I know it's hard, it's easy to say just punch, but when you're in range like that, Castro's he's not moving his head, he's not necessarily running around the ring, he's just kind of sliding here and there. Nice head movement by him, but you got to let your hands go in this bantamweight division. You're not going to get far in the bantamweight division if you don't punch. You got to let your hands go.
Good right to the body, left hook combination from Castro.
One of my favorite fighters almost 20 years ago was a fighter named Eddie Cook, a bantamweight. Very good fighter out of Fort Hood, Texas, but he was a southpaw, 118-pounder, had incredible power. But, you know, one thing he told me when I was young, I remember he told me very well, he's like, listen, I like to start fast because you never know when I hit these guys how they're going to react, and I want to find out. So, you know, I would tell that same advice to Santiago. You know, obviously it's a little late now, but you got to give yourself a shot to see what happens when you land those punches, and Santiago's just not doing that tonight. And I give a lot of the credit for that to Castro because he's making Santiago not punch, but you still got to give yourself a shot. Very sharp.
Yeah, pop shotting almost from the outside now, taking the shots that he wants, getting and just moving out.
Nice body shot by Castro.
We've seen Castro do this with lower level opposition. It's super impressive to see him at this type of level doing the same thing that he's done. It's not even like he's broken stride. This looks like the same Castro that we're used to seeing, it's just at a higher level.
That's what the really good prospects do, James. They're moving up. They make it look easy.
It's not if you win, it's how you win. And tonight he's doing a great job. Because, I mean, if you think about the loss that Santiago had last with Payano, I mean, I'd argue that Payano has struggled more with Santiago than Carlos has almost tonight.
Carlos got a lot of tools.
Both fighters at the end of round 8 there with a little bit of gamesmanship. Heading into round 9, I mean, we're getting a little bit desperate right there in the ring with Santiago. Wouldn't you feel that this is now we're in knockout territory for sure, without a doubt? It's either, what do? You give everything you got and go for the knockout and risk getting knocked out, or do you just kind of maintain and have a moral victory going in, knowing you didn't get knocked out going to 10 rounds?
He's got to let his hands go. He's got to go for it, but he's really struggling to get his hands loose against Castro. Castro's so offensive, so it makes it difficult, but like I said, Santiago's got to take a shot.
Still the first one off the stool. I'm sure he's going to meet him at the center of the ring. Still got a lot of energy. Round number 9. WBC, USNBC, vacant title on the line, featherweight division. Phoenix, Arizona Celebrity Theater.
I like the Filiberto's patch that Castro's got in the back right corner of his trunks. I like to eat at that place, and I like to see him showing some local support to one of my favorite Phoenix restaurants.
I almost feel like you wouldn't want to take money from that place. I wouldn't want a gift card or some sort of like free burrito exchange.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to Castro's people after my next after this fight and see what kind of deal I can work out with those guys. I love that place.
They'll give you a bouquet of burritos now that you said that live on the air here.
I actually like the carne asada quesadillas is what I really like from there. So the burritos, everyone else can have those, but the quesadillas, carne asada, ooh. Nice body shot. Castro still digging in there in the 9th round. Santiago showing a lot of resolve, a lot of toughness, still trying to fight. Good combination, nice 4 punches. That's a nice step in the right direction. Nice right uppercut by Castro.
It was almost like you could see it coming, but there's nothing you could do to stop it. Santiago walked right into it.
Got to get his head off the center. That's the way to stop it. That's the way to stop him from throwing it. When you're moving your head left, right like that, punches don't punch as much. Nice uppercut right hand by Santiago.
Castro, that is. Ooh, good left hook, right hook there from Castro right there at the end of the round. Or excuse me, not right in the round, right in the combination.
Yeah.
Not to go so fast, or not to go so fast, or not to go so slow.
You know, Castro having a very good 9th round here. You know, more of the same. We've seen him. We've seen him landing a lot of shots. And,
uppercuts have really come to life right here with Castro.
Nothing's really changed. He's just he's able to continually get off on Santiago. Nice left jab.
Castro really, feeling himself, it looks like. I don't think he's meaning to show off a little bit, but I thought I saw a bit of a bolo punch in there. Good shoe shine combination right there down the middle. Again, ending with the good left hook on Santiago. Castro at this point now is just playing with him. I think he realizes that Santiago is gassed. He's got nothing for him. Good left uppercut there by Castro to end this 9th round.
Nice right uppercut. You see Santiago starting to be worn down a little bit. Still coming forward, still trying to fight. Castro landing all the good leather though, James.
Next show for Iron Boy Promotions is going to be March 24th right back here at the Celebrity Theater for Iron Boy MMA 10. Tickets will go on sale soon. For more information, go to www.ironboy.com. Also, don't forget, the after party is at Sushi Sonora with 3 locations. Sushi Sonora, the official after party location of Iron Boy Promotions, where champions go to enjoy their victories. Let's thank our sponsors one more time. Let's thank Clinic Wine Talk, Esquivel Law Group, Highlander Gentlemen's Men Dispensary, Sushi Sonora, Mariscos El Dorado, Game Magazine, AZ Nota, Food City, Everlast, Pro S Boxing, Caesar Graphics, and Tu Enfrenta. Ladies and gentlemen,
here we go. 10th and final round of the WBC USNBC Bantamweight title. More the same round 10 here. Carlos Castro controlling the distance, keeping him off with a good right uppercut, left hook right there, turn out. Humping that jab. It's not even just that he's throwing the jab, Castro, that is. It's the way he throws it and he hooks off of it. Using all the tools in the trade. Bad, they say, what is it? Bad plumber just uses one wrench.
Yeah, right.
Good plumber uses every tool in his arsenal.
He looks very calm, very composed. He's really broken Santiago down. Body punching, head punches. We've seen everything. Full arsenal of punches by Castro. It looks great. He's getting ready to stop the fight. The corner of Santiago stepped up right there, and the commissioner just signaled him to go down. But I think he's ready to stop the fight.
Santiago is taking some big shots here. You can see that by the way he's bouncing. That it's almost an unnecessary punishment that he's taking here.
To stop the fight. Fight's
there
over.
Goes the towel. There goes the towel. Victor Castro with a spectacular 10th round knockout of Alexis Santiago. Of course, Santiago is definitely disappointed in the decision. I mean, at this point though, there really wasn't much that he was given. There's 2 minutes left in that round. He was taking some big shots. Carlos Castro earned this victory. He deserved this victory. Right now he's being held up on the shoulders. He's now essentially the pride of Phoenix, Arizona. Santiago has nothing to hold his head up. I mean, Castro did such a great job in this fight. It's hard to say that anyone would have lost or won this fight tonight against Castro.
I'm not going to say that he would have beat any bantamweight in the world tonight, but I'm going to say that with the guy he had in front of him, he did exactly what he had to do. He systematically broke him apart. He was effective with his long punches, his short punches, and he continued to step up the tempo as the rounds went on.
I think this is Santiago's first time ever being stopped in a fight too, so that to me would be impressive for Castro as well.
Very impressive.
So now Castro's going to move on to 20-0, 9 knockouts here, Phoenix, Arizona. Iron Boy 43. He's going to take home the WBC USNBC Bantamweight Championship of the World. Here in a few moments, we'll get the official particulars of the decision. Obviously, it's not a decision. It was a 10th round knockout for Carlos Castro. So we're going to make it official here when Sonny Franco takes over the mic. Ramblin' Ralph will do the post-fight interview as always.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 1 minute 50 seconds of round number 10. At the corner stoppage, fighter in the blue corner could not continue. Therefore, he is your winner by TKO and new WBC USNBC Super Bantamweight champion from Phoenix, Arizona, Carlos Castro.
All right, guys, I'm with the winner, but before I start, I want to give both of these fighters a round of applause because they are Arizona's best. Please make some noise for both Alexis Santiago and Carlos Castro. Carlos, you had a game plan going into this. We talked about it on a number of occasions that you were going to try to utilize your speed and your strength, and the game plan was just continue to pressure, and it seemed to come through for you this evening.
First of all, I want to thank God, He's the one with everything, I want to thank Alexis Santiago and his whole team, his family, man, I grew up with them, man. I slept over at their house. I lived with them, man. They fed me. So it's much respect to Alexis and his family, and I just want to say I love him, nothing personal. I love him, and I want to tell everybody to give him a round of applause. He's a true fighter. He represented us for a long time,
Now, with that being said, not to move on to take away anything from tonight, but there is one person that you are looking at right now, that you have been looking at, that you have challenged, and they seem to be shying away from it. Do you have anything to say on that matter? What's next for you after this win?
Hey, May 5th, Diego, if you're ready, let's sign the contract, baby. I'm ready for you. And you know what? I want to thank my sponsors, Arizona Best Auto Sales, LLC, Matador Motors, Soul Prince, my boy Chango Botas, thank you so much. And for Extreme Stitch, Senor Chelada. If I missed one, I'm sorry, but I thank you. I want to thank my wife, my son. I love you, baby.
All right, guys, this is one of the best Iron Board cards that Arizona has had. Two of Arizona's best. It was unbelievable, unbelievable crowd, unbelievable fights. Throw it back to you, guys.
Yep. Got it. Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Iron Boy Promotions. We hope you had a great time. Don't forget, March 24th, right back here. We hope to see you for Iron Boy MMA 10. On behalf of Iron Boy Promotions, this is Sonny Frank saying, good night, Phoenix. We'll see you again on the inside of the ring.
Well, we say all good things come to an end. We had a great night here at Iron Boy 43. Now, BJ, we had a lot of knockouts on the pre-show and on the main card here. Vaca got 1 in 6 rounds. Castro gets it in 9 rounds. Your boy Fidel Hernandez comes back, has an impressive victory. What impressed you the most tonight? What do you want to see from these fighters going forward?
You know, I was talking to Bruce Trampler after the fight, and I think Vaca was very impressive tonight. I think he had a nice repertoire of punches. I've seen a lot of kids in that featherweight division moving up, and he looks like he's a nice prospect moving on to that next level, and I feel like he's ready for that. You know, Fidel, I feel like he fought a very good fight against a limited guy, but a very game and very strong guy. So he showed a lot of poise in there to hang in there, because we didn't say anything about it, but he did have a nice, very, very bad rib injury coming into this fight that I didn't want to mention or say anything on the air, but he fought through that and sucked it up. And in the finals, man, wow, what an impressive performance. You know, Castro really put on a show. He did a great job. He was very selective with his punches, but also very precise. So I was very impressed. He made it look simple. I mean, we're sitting ringside like, hey, Santiago's got to do this, do that. Was never able to do that. Hats off to Castro.
Now, we knew we had some good fighters here in Phoenix, Arizona. Tonight, they all took the step up. They showed that they deserve to be on the main stage. That'll do it. I'm James Meyer. This is Heavyweight BJ Flores saying goodbye, and thank you for tuning in. Iron Boy 43 live at the Celebrity Theater.